With the latest reveal of the Wired Freedom and Cruiser coming out yesterday, there's a lot of information that we're all still trying to ingest, but there's also some questions and some confusion. I spoke to Wired and I do have a few answers. Let's get started. Hey, what's up YouTube world? It's Ryan from Ride in Style. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're not new to the channel, welcome back. I just wanted to say that I'm one of those that's been waiting in anticipation for the new Wired updates, like so many others have. Chances are if you're watching this video, it's because you too know about the Wired Freedom and Cruiser e-bikes, and chances are you've been waiting for these updates too. The problem is that building up to this update, there's been a lot of misinformation, rumors being spread online, and I'm not the guy to just come out and talk about things that I think or how I feel. I put that aside. First of all, I want to say, if you're watching this video, my intention is to bring some value, maybe some clarification to some of the things that maybe you've been wondering. I know after watching a video yesterday of the newly being released soon of the Wired Freedom and the Wired Cruiser, I also had some questions. So instead of speculating or running to the rumor mill, I just decided to call Wired myself. And here are some of the questions I had, and here's what they told me. So the first question I wanted to clarify was if the sensor on the new bike will be a cadence or a true torque sensor. And I spoke to Steve, and he was kind of vague. However, he basically said it's a hybrid. So those of you who kept insisting that it's a torque sensor, or others saying no, it's a cadence sensor, you're both right, but you're also both wrong. So Steve was saying that it's a hybrid, and he was trying to explain, the intricacies of it. And to be honest with you, I was kind of confused, but here was the takeaway. So in the pedal assist settings, you are able to adjust the percentage that you want the motor to provide in terms of the power output. You have that control in the settings. But what that means is pedal assist 1 doesn't even have to be the lowest setting. You could set pedal assist 1 to 100 and it will give the motor 100% of the power. With that said, you could also set pedal assist 5 to 20 and it will go down. So with that being said, I think it's good to look at the different pedal assist levels, not as levels anymore, but as like personalized settings. So if you're someone who doesn't ride, doesn't use a lot of pedaling, and you just want all throttle, pedal assist 1 at 100% will do it for you. Also, the percentages are not in like 10% increments. I don't know where they're basically in 1% increments. So you could set pedal assist 1 to 27%, pedal assist 2 to 28%. It's really up to you. So in that aspect, it's fully customizable. And what's happening is the motor is only going to do what the computer is telling it to do based on how you program it. So according to Steve, there is no torque sensors in the pedals. It doesn't respond to the amount of pressure or power that's put on the pedals to propel the bike or to tell the motor what to do next. It really comes down to how you set your pedal assist settings. So that was a question I had. Is it a torque sensor? He says, kind of. Is it a cadence sensor? He says, kind of. So short answer is it's leaning more towards a cadence sensor versus a torque sensor, because once we start talking about torque, things just get real tricky. Is it torque from the motor to propel you up a hill? Is it torque in the pedals based on the amount of force that you're putting down on the pedals? So he just says it's a hybrid. All right, that was my first question. My second question was, is the second battery located now in the rear rack able to be turned on and off? Or is it always running once it's plugged into the dock? Answer. Steve said he wishes that the power button on the new battery was to be able to turn the battery on and off. That way you could just run with the main battery in front and save the secondary battery as like a reserve if you choose to. But that's not what happened. He basically said in the manufacturing process, now a Citizen Cycle didn't cover this part of the battery, but there is actually a second tail light on the back of these batteries. It was on the original secondary battery, the bigger one that was reviewed, and also on the newer battery, which is a little slimmer. Now, if you look, I had to go back and watch the video. You do see a tail light on the back of each on each battery. And the power button literally is only on there to turn that light on and off. What? So I asked Steve, doesn't the bike come with a tail light already? He says, yes. So essentially, you're getting two tail lights, one that's already built into the rack and the other that's now on the back of the secondary battery. So I asked, is it possible then that maybe in a future model, that power button could be switched to turn that battery on and off? Answer, possibly. So, with the newly being released Wired Freedoms and Cruisers, you will get the secondary battery. You will also be getting a second tail light. You will be double protected from the back. I don't think that secondary light operates as a brake light or anything. It's literally an on and off. So that's just the latest about being able to use that secondary battery or saving it. The only way to save it, if you wanted to and not use it right away, is to take it out of the dock. And maybe it'll still fit in that rack, or put it in a separate pannier bag or something for later. But if you're gonna plug it into the bike and it's hooked up, there's no way to turn it off. It's just gonna drain alongside with the main battery. So I hope that answers your question in case you had one about that. Now listen guys, I'm not here to just be groundbreaking and shed all this new information on you, not at all. This information is very new, and I'm sure we all have questions. We all have things that we need clarification on. I will say, they are very busy, because when that last video dropped of the updates and we even got to see that new lime green color, they became overwhelmed. And I think that's anticipated. They got a influx of calls and a flurry of questions and people wanting information. You know what I don't want though, is to have the experience of buyer's remorse. Now with that, I just said, I don't know what kind of future updates are already in the works. I will just put this out there, and this is coming from Wired, from Steve. I asked about a dual motor. Is there any talk of a potential front motor? He doesn't like dual motors, and I get it. They're dangerous. You have to really know what you're doing when riding a dual motor. But he did say, he didn't say yes, he didn't say no. He said it's not out of the question. So we could speculate, right? Again, this isn't me telling you that a dual motor is in the works, but just think about the what ifs. Like, what would that be like? And if they were considering a dual motor, would you be interested in it? What would be the perfect mix of power with a dual motor? A 750 motor in the rear and a 750 in front, 1,000 and 1,000? What are your thoughts? What would be the perfect dual motor setup? Leave a comment below. Wired is very good at, one, their customer service, and two, part of that is listening to their customers' feedback. Again, we were considering different colors, and he told me, Ryan, send me some swatches of red, and we'll see if a red bike would be popular, if people would buy it. Just because I like it, maybe even because he likes it, it doesn't mean everyone's gonna like it. So I understand from the business standpoint, if there was a color that you would like to have in whether the Freedom or the Cruiser, or just to be made available, what color would you choose? Leave that color in the comment section below. They listen to the feedback. Also, if you can think of any other improvements that you would like to see on maybe future variations of the Freedom or the Cruiser. I do know people were talking about maybe a smaller frame, maybe a slightly smaller wheel size, a 24-inch, or even a 20-inch wheel for smaller riders. Is that something you'd be interested in? I am so curious to hear all of your feedback. So go ahead, leave a like on this button if you got any value from today's little video, and leave a comment below on what kind of improvements you would like to see in a future bike that maybe you would consider investing in if you haven't invested in one already. I thank you for watching this short video. This is Ryan from Riding in Style.